everybody that's watching on Facebook. We have right now live always with me, well, 90% of the 99% of the time.
Yes.
I have with me Ted Watkins, and yes, Ted's been on a lot, and there's a reason for that. Ted is my longest running guest. We figured it out. It's over 7 years now. It's definitely over.
Closing on 8.
We're closing in on 8.
Yeah.
Ted, welcome to the show. Tell everybody, first of all, I want to introduce you. So Ted Watkins is an enrolled agent, and he has been doing this since 1978. He is probably got he has the sharpest pencil of anyone that I know. He's extremely meticulous, and what I love about Ted is he loves to help people. And that's one of the reasons why you like coming on this show, because you get to talk a little bit about yourself and explain how affordable that you are, how much you'll do for them, and that you can help anyone in all 50 states. Should I do your segment for you? But how, the people out there that you have helped, you've been doing this for over 7 years, and you have helped so many people out there. There's always someone calling in for Ted. Some way, somehow, they're calling in for Ted. Welcome to the show.
It's great to be back, Carol. I always enjoy doing the radio with me.
Thank you.
With you.
Oh, thank you.
And my name's Ted Watkins. Some of you may have heard me before, but if you haven't, I'm what's called an enrolled agent before IRS. And now, I'm not an employee of the IRS. A lot of people make that mistake. But I am licensed by the IRS. But my job is to help you, the taxpayer, in preparing tax returns. We do lots of business and personal returns. But also, if you have some tax issues, unfortunately, a lot of people, since the meltdown, the real estate meltdown and the big meltdown in 2008, have had some tax issues over the years. So what my job is to help you to make us, first of all, you have to file all your tax returns. That's number one. And a lot of people haven't. They find out that they owed taxes back in, say, 2006 or 7, and so they says, well, I'm not going to file it. So that kind of goes on year after year, and a lot of times I talk to people who haven't filed in 4, 5, 6 years.
My God, though, wait, there's the longest one is what?
1982.
1982, the guy had put it under the, swept it under the carpet. That's a long time. Go ahead.
But anyway, so first of all, we have to make sure you get all your tax returns filed, because the IRS calls that being in full filing compliance. And what that means is all your returns are filed up to date. So that right now will include 2016, since our extension just expired on October 16th. So anyway, once we get all your tax returns filed up to date, then we figure out how much you owe, and if you owe any taxes back taxes for, say, a long time ago. So at that, when we find that out, then I can negotiate with the IRS, and I do a lot of work with the Arizona Department of Revenue, and I had an office in California for quite a while. So I'm unfortunately familiar with the Franchise Tax Board. But anyway, since I'm licensed by the federal government, I can actually help people in all 50 states. So you don't have to be an Arizona resident. I have clients in about 23 different states, actually.
And one of the things that you like to do, and I'm going to start with this now. First of all, I want everybody to understand that you don't have to have tax issues to work with Ted, that's for sure. Because there's nothing like having an enrolled agent do your taxes, or Ted. Ted is meticulous. Ted, you like to do a lot of things. First of all, I want you also, before we go to, not go, but go on, is tell them how much it costs to work with you for the power of attorney if they have issues.
Okay, if you have tax issues and the IRS has filed a federal tax lien against you, you'll get bombarded with mail and telephone calls from, I call them the national tax resolution companies, and most of them are out of LA and Denver. But anyway, most of the time they'll ask for an upfront retainer of anywhere between $3,500, and there's one outfit in LA that requires $18,000 just to work with you.
So how much do you charge?
So all I charge is $175 for
That's it. $175 for peace of mind.
For the power of attorney. So I have to have a power of attorney before I can talk to the IRS on your behalf. But if you decide that once we figure out where you're at, that if you want to handle either your own situation by yourself, I wouldn't recommend that. Or if you want to go somewhere else, you're not obligated to me for anything but the $175.
So Ted likes to do a lot of giveaways. First of all, Ted has it's a tax guide. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Okay, I have what I call a tax-oriented organizer, tax questionnaire, and it's on my website, which is tedwatkinsea.com. And what that does, it's about 15 pages long, but it handles all different types of tax situations. So if you own rental real estate, if you've sold stocks and bonds, if you maybe have like a little MLM company and use your home as a business, it covers that. But if you just go over it maybe 10 or 15 minutes, you'll find a lot of deductions that you might not be aware that you can take. And so in most cases, a lot of people save hundreds and even some cases thousands of tax dollars just by going through and filling out the tax organizer.
Well, listen, I know that it's Halloween, but taxes don't go away no matter what. And, all of this is just informational. What I love about it is that, maybe it's you, maybe it's someone that you know that is having an issue or doesn't, and you want, they want to have somebody who's a really good tax guy. Ted's the guy you want to call. Now, you do that as a giveaway. We're going to offer that here. You can go on his website, but you can get it right through us. I like to give that away for everybody here right on the show. Also, your record retention guide. That's the number one question that you get asked all the time. What should I keep?
How long can I keep my stuff? I'll use a polite word. So anyway, that is actually my number one question that I get asked. And because I've had people with tax returns they've kept for 20 and 30 years, and you really don't have to do that. And if you go through the record retention guide, it'll tell you how long you have to keep personal and business returns. And then there are some things that you have to keep forever, like the deed to your house, birth certificates, social security cards, and so forth. But there's a lot of that stuff after about 4, maybe 5, 6 years that you can, I'd recommend taking it to a shredder or shred it yourself. So it's a good thing, and you don't wind up in your garage full of boxes of stuff that's really pretty useless.
Well, we all know that we're getting to the end of the year, and by the way, I don't know about you guys, but the drawers are stuffed. There's stuff with all our stuff, and you can get this tax organizer from me. Also, the record retention guide. That's the number one question that he gets. What should I keep? Also, Ted likes to give away all sorts of things. First of all, he's going to do a free consultation for everybody out there. That he does just right off the bat. He's going to go back 3 years for you, for everybody, for free. That's just because he likes to do that and make sure that, and they allow that. They allow all of that.
That's right. So I can go back 3 years and take a look at your tax returns at no cost to you and see if the returns have been done properly. And if they have, I'll tell you so. But if I see some things that are missing or not done correctly, then we can suggest that you do an amended tax return.
He's also going to give you a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card. And he's also entering in to win a personal or business tax return for 2017. So here's the deal. Everybody gets this. And you know what? In my opinion, if you know somebody, this is a $450 value at least, free to you guys out there. He can help anyone in the United States. You could check him out on his website. It's tedwatkinsea.com. You can call him direct. That number is 602-363-1952, or you can also call him at 480-707-7670. But I say call in here. And everyone is getting this. This is the way he likes to work with everyone getting entered in to win, and he'll give everyone all of these things. He wants to help you. He wants to see what he can do for you. The number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. 2 minutes. What do you want to say?
Okay, well, one thing I would want to add is that from now to about the first week in January is a really good time to get together, because I just finished my extensions on October 16th. So this is actually my slowest time of the year. So it's a good time if you haven't filed your returns for 16, say, or if you've got some tax issues, because the government doesn't, just because we're getting into the holidays.
They're brutal, no matter what. They do it. As a matter of fact, I think they purposely do it during the holidays.
That's right, to make your life miserable. That's right. So anyway, they don't back off just because we're getting into Thanksgiving and Christmas time holidays. So they issue levies, year round pretty much. Except during the week of Christmas, but that's about it. So now it's a good time to get together, and we can find out exactly where we're at, and I have time to prepare your tax returns, and then I can start negotiating with the IRS for you.
If you've heard Ted and you haven't called him, we've talked a lot about this before. There's a lot of those procrastinators out there. There's a lot of people that just like they've heard you for 3 years, they finally call, and everyone always seems to say the same thing every single time. Why didn't I call earlier? $175 if you've got issues gives you peace of mind. We've got our lines open here, whether you need tax issues, if you have that, if you need it for that or not. Ted Watkins is your man. We've got our lines open here. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He's going to give you that free tax organizer by calling in here. The record retention guide. You're getting a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card. He's giving you a free consultation. He goes back 3 years for you for free. He's also giving everyone's getting entered into win a business or personal tax return. Give us a call here, 602-277-5369.
If I traded it all, if I gave
Welcome
it
back, everyone. We're live with Ted Watkins on the show. And yes, if you've heard Ted Watkins and you've not called him, call him. If you haven't heard Ted Watkins, call him. If you know somebody that might need some help, let them know. Let them know. Our lines are open here, and we've got everyone that's getting entered into win. First of all, he's giving everyone for sure the tax organizer. I don't care if I think everybody should have that no matter what, Ted.
You bet.
I really do. And I just think that you should have that in your office, have it so that you can look at it. And, there's no obligation to any of that. You're also going to get the record retention guide so that we're going to give that to everyone that calls in here. Also, he's going to give everybody a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card. He always does free consultations. He will go back through the last 3 years for you for free. Also, he's going to enter everybody into win a business or personal tax return for 2017, and that is a $450 value free to you or anyone you know. We're also going to talk a little bit after we talk a little bit about your new blog, too, about what makes you different on that, because, everybody thinks if you're an enrolled agent that you are a lot of money. Well, no, that's not the case. So first of all, I want to tell everybody again that he has been doing this since 1978, since Lincoln time. Right. And you can check him out on his website. It is tedwatkinsea.com. You can always call him direct. The number is 602-363-1952 or 480-707-7670. But calling here, get entered into win. He's going to give everybody all the other stuff. So call in here at 602-277-5369 and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. So before we talk about your blog, I want to just talk a little bit about you and the big box stores. And by the way, you can help anyone in the United States, and they can't do that, that's for sure. So what's the difference between you and them?
Well, as Carol said, my fees are, just because I'm an enrolled agent, my fees are, I think, quite reasonable. And a lot of times the fees will be less or equal to the big national franchises like H&R Block and Jackson Hewitt and Liberty Tax. So, but what you get for that is, besides the fact that I've been around since 1978, is that I take about at least 30 hours of continuing education each year. And actually, I do a lot more than that. I usually get around 50. So I stay up with the tax laws.
He loves taxes.
Yeah, I'm weird, so.
Okay, Ted, you said it, not me.
Okay, I actually read tax articles at night, so that shows you how weird I am.
That's what it is.
But anyway, I do take my business seriously, and I try to stay up so that I can help people.
But you know what else you do that's really neat too is that when you're doing these, you personally go over each one of these. What do you call them?
Well, tax returns. Tax returns.
How many times?
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I do have tax preparers that I do hire during the tax season, but every tax return that I do, I personally review it at least 3 times before it goes out the door. And if you go into an H&R Block office, I would challenge you to find that to happen, because a lot of times they'll have a ton of people waiting in the lobby, and they'll just push the return out just as fast as they can. and particularly on business returns, I found that to be the case. And another thing is that H&R Block and the other two companies, a lot of times those people will only have 2 weeks to 2 months of training, and you might be able to do what I call a plain vanilla personal tax return with that level of training, but you really can't do a business return because it takes a lot of experience and a lot of training and a lot of knowledge. I mean, the tax code's 80,000 pages long, so
And
I
he's
don't.
read every
I don't.
page.
No, I don't pretend to have done that, but I've read quite a bit of it. So
I bet you have.
Yeah.
And again, we've got our lines open here. 2017, everyone is getting entered into win a business or personal tax return from Ted. And we've got our lines open here. You're also going to get the tax organizer, which everyone should have. Everyone should have it just in your desk. Look at it, see if there's anything there that you're missing, and that you can make money right off of that. So also the record retention guide, that is the number one question he gets asked, so you'll know exactly what you need to keep, how long you need to keep it. Also, he's going to give everyone a free Walmart card and a Starbucks card. He's going to go back 3 years for you for free. He does free consultations all the time, and everyone's getting entered into win a 2016 business or personal tax return. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I have people that email me. I have people that call here at the station. I'm looking for Ted. I mean, we get people all the time calling for you for some way, somehow they're looking for Ted. So please, if you are in this situation, or if you've heard, I don't care what you're dealing with, call us here. Let us get you connected with him at 602-277-5369. And remember, it only cost you $175 for him to give you peace of mind. And that's just nothing, really, just to find out where you stand. And then there's no obligation. You do whatever you want to do after that. Okay, so let's talk about the blog. He has a new blog he's very proud of.
Yeah, I've been in the business a long time, and so I'm
since 1978,
and I consider myself social media challenged. I am fairly computer literate, but I am definitely social media challenged. So what I did a couple months ago is I hired a millennial who's 19 years old, and she's gotten me into the world of blogging, which I had neglected. I will be quite honest about that. But since we've gotten into it, she's really been pressing me to keep coming up with material. So she's wanting me to write an article a day, which I'm trying to do, but sometimes it's difficult.
Wow.
But anyway, we're keeping pretty close to that track, and so we have everything posted to the blog, and then we just got it integrated into my website. But what I've tried to do is come up, because like I said, reading a tax organizer is only for strange people like me, or tax article.
No. Let's
tax
put it
article,
this way. Yeah,
sorry.
Because I was going to say everybody needs to have that because you're reading it and you're finding out what you can save money, where you can save money. That's different.
That's my mistake.
So say it right.
I meant reading a tax article.
Right.
Okay.
But you make them neat.
Yeah, so what I've tried to do is come up with some that are human interest oriented. Like I wrote one recently on Wesley Snipes, and I've written one on some celebrities that have gotten into tax problems. And
like Cosby?
Cosby, I wrote one, that's right, on Bill Cosby, and Snipes, and a few others. But what you'll find, though, is you'll actually learn a lot about how the tax system works or doesn't work, depending on your opinion. But it's also somewhat interesting because everybody likes to find out when the celebrities get in trouble, so...
I love it. Who's in trouble now?
I guess the Paul Manafort, Nick Trump's campaign.
I'm so surprised.
Because a lot of that, the indictment that came down was for tax fraud issues, and also for you have to, if you have a foreign bank account, you have to disclose that, and the IRS is really down on that. If you don't disclose that, you can actually go to jail for that, and some serious penalties like 6 and 7 figures.
Wow.
So anyway, that's what we've tried to do in the blog to keep it interesting, yet learn some things and primarily probably what not to do. How to stay out of trouble. That's what we're trying to really.
How to stay out of trouble in what way?
Well,
Because, I mean, there's people that get in trouble because that's what they want.
Well, but yeah, what not to deduct and
Right.
Things like that.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and also because there's some of the articles we go over what you can deduct and things that they're not really commonly known too. So we try to.
What is the most uncommon thing that people don't realize that they can deduct?
Well, I would say on a personal income tax return, most people aren't aware that you can deduct your medical miles to going to the hospital, even to the
I'm getting sick right and left next year. I'm telling you. Go ahead.
All your doctor visits, dentist visits. So it's a small deduction, but it does add up. And also another thing is that you can deduct if you take your stuff to Salvation Army or Goodwill or things like that, or if you work in a charity, maybe say like the food bank, you can deduct all that mileage to and from your home.
This is why you need to talk to Ted, because Ted has all the ins and outs of what you really should be looking for and how you can save money and how he can get you the most deductions that you are entitled to. Now, we're going to go to a break soon, and when we come back, I want to talk further. We've got our lines open here. Ted can help anyone in the United States. He's licensed in all 50 states. He's going to open up the lines to the audience. We're going to keep him this way for everybody throughout the rest of the show. You're going to get the tax organizer. Please, I implore everyone to just call in for the I don't care. Just call in for the tax organizer. Get it. Move on. Do your thing. But I think everyone should have that for sure. Also, the record retention guide. All you have to do is call in here for it. We're going to give it to you. That's all for free. Ted also gives everybody a free Walmart card and a Starbucks card. He's going to go and give you a free consultation. He's going to go back the last 3 years for free for everybody. He's also going to give you entered everybody in to win a free business or personal tax return. This is a $450 value free to you guys out there. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You got to check him out. It's TedWatkinsEA.com.
For trading it all, if I
So we're talking taxes on Halloween. And you know what? It's okay because taxes they don't go away. That doesn't matter what, right?
Unfortunately, that's true.
They do not go away. And there's a lot of people out there that do have issues, but you don't have to have an issue to work with Ted. He is an enrolled agent, but he just charges sometimes even less than some of the big box people. And certainly he can work with anyone in the United States. He has clients from everywhere, and I know you've helped so many people that have been listening throughout the years. But one thing I do want to say that people tend to procrastinate. People hear you and they go, oh yeah, I got to call him. And then they don't call and things get worse for them. And what happens?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Carol. And in fact, I had one person who had listened to the show for over 4 years.
Thank you for being a loyal listener, though, that's for sure.
He was a very loyal listener, and he had heard me almost every time that I had been on. But he had some tax issues with the state of Wisconsin. And so he waited, and he brought me in a whole stack of certified unopened letters from the state of Wisconsin. So the good news is, though, that I was able to get, the state of Wisconsin was getting ready to levy his bank and retirement accounts. So we signed him up, and I got on the phone the next day, I believe, and talked to Wisconsin and got them to back off from issuing the levy. So what we were able to do was to negotiate a monthly installment plan with the state of Wisconsin. But the representative at Wisconsin told me that he was just literally days away from them issuing the levy. And once, if you're not familiar with a levy, once the government issues it, it's virtually impossible to have it killed. So that's one reason not to wait, because if I had gotten and he's going to pay a lot of penalties and interest too.
Wow.
Because he waited for so long, and all I was able to do was to get the payment agreement set up so they wouldn't issue any future levy.
Well, this is something that people need to understand. First of all, Ted does not work for the IRS.
That's right.
He doesn't work. He works for you, is what he does. He works for you guys. He's here to help you out there. there. Whether you have tax issues or not, it doesn't really matter. But if you do, there's nothing like Ted, that's for sure. But the other thing that I want to say about Ted, that when he does work with you, is that all of that goes away. All of the calls, all of the letters, everything goes away.
That's right. Once you sign the power of attorney with me, you don't have to talk to the IRS or the state anymore if you don't want to. And I highly recommend that you don't, because a lot of people get nervous when talking to IRS and they volunteer too much information. So for me, I've been doing it so long. To me, I know a lot of these people at the IRS and the Department of Revenue.
When you're doing something since 1978, you become friends with them.
I mean, if some of these people are retiring, I've known them for so long.
So funny.
So anyway, but anyway, it does. All the letters and the calls go away, and you don't have to talk to them anymore.
Right, and that's the whole thing. I mean, and here's what he's doing. First of all, Ted does like to give, and I'm going to say it again, he likes to give away so much. There isn't anything he doesn't like to do for everybody out there. First of all, he's going to give us the tax organizer. First of all, that you're getting through me. All you have to do is call here at the station. It's a tax organizer and the record retention guide. That's free to you, and I think everyone should just have that right in their office, no matter what. So you can look and see how you can save many and get as many deductions as you can. That you're going to get here at the station. He's also going to give you a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card. He's going to go back the last 3 years for you for free. He always gives you a free consultation, and we've got everyone entered in to win a free business or personal tax return for 2017. This is a $450 value free to you. Our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You can always call him direct, and you can check him out on his website. It is tedwatkinsea.com. His phone number direct is 602-363-1952 or 480-707-7670, and $175 is all it takes. If you've got some issues, that's all it takes for some peace of mind. And it's a no obligation free consultation as well.
That's right.
So what do we want to talk about now?
Okay, well, I wanted to talk just a couple minutes about the tax or Trump tax bill, and I'm sure a lot of you have been hearing about it in the news. And actually, I have been pretty skeptical this whole year whether they were going to do anything on the tax bill. But I've been talking to some friends I have at the IRS in Washington, and they seem to think that something may happen this year, because if the Republicans don't get it done, they may have their backsides handed to them in the 2018 election. So I'm getting a little bit more convinced that they may do something. And what they're talking about is basically taking away all your deductions except mortgage interest, charitable contributions, and state and local taxes.
How can they do that?
So they're talking about taking away your medical deductions and all what we call miscellaneous itemized deductions. And so all you would have is your mortgage interest, and they may not even allow you to deduct your real estate taxes. All that, for the last I heard, it's just mortgage interest, charitable deductions, and possibly your state income tax. And
what happens if you work out of your home? And listen up for all those people that work out of your house. All those multi-level marketing companies out there that you work for. Listen up, everyone.
Okay, well, unfortunately, if you deduct that on your personal tax return, that business use of the home will go away too. So if you have a business, you may be like an LLC or a corporation, you may be able to deduct some of that.
So more people may owe taxes?
Well, now what they're proposing to do is they're going to double what they call a standard deduction. So right now, if you're married filing a joint return, your standard deduction is $12,700, I believe, for this year. So they're talking about doubling that to $25,000.
I got to get married.
$25,400. But if you're single, the standard deduction is only $6,350, and they're talking about doubling that.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Reset.
If you're single, the standard deduction right now is $6,350.
$6,000?
$6,000. Now they're talking about doubling that to $12,700. But the standard deduction doesn't allow you to deduct. It's just they bill build in what they think most people have as tax-deductible expenses. So, well, it will actually, for some people, it will be a good thing. If you have a very small mortgage, say, or you don't have a lot of charitable contributions, or you don't pay much state income tax, it actually, for about 2/3 of the people in the United States, it will be a better for them. But if you have a mortgage deduction, say, that's over $1,500 or more a month, and you have a lot of charitable contributions, and maybe you have high real estate taxes and so forth, you're not going to be happy with this tax bill.
Some people don't have a lot of that. Some people have none of that. Some people don't own.
That's what I'm saying. For a lot of people, it's going to be a good thing. But but in the Valley here, we tend to have higher mortgage deductions.
Because they all own those homes. All you investors out there that listen to this station, hold on tight, listen here.
Yeah. So we tend to have, our home prices are much higher than a lot of parts of the country, particularly the Midwest. So for here in California, and New York, states like that, most middle to upper middle income people are going to pay more under this tax bill. So what you need to do is, assuming that this goes through, and there's no guarantee. I mean, the way things are in Washington, they may not do anything. So, but anyway, if you do, what you should do for 2017 is pay a lot, if you've got unpaid medical bills, if you've got a lot of stuff you want to donate to charity, either cash or non-cash, you should do that. You could take out the home equity line of credit or something, get some interest deductions. So you want to try to accelerate everything you can into 2017, because if the bill passes, and I hope this is true, they won't make it retroactive to January 1st of 2017. 17.
Back? They have to go back?
Well, no, they don't. I'm saying I hope they don't do that.
Oh, God.
They probably, that rarely
That would be a lot of work for a lot of people.
That would be a killer amount of work for people.
Yeah, they won't do it.
Normally they don't do that. So it probably would take effect January 1st of 2018. Mm-hmm. So anything you can do from now till the end of the year, you could probably save a lot of tax dollars for 2017. And if they don't do anything, then at least you've got a bunch more deductions for 2017, so you've saved.
So it's a good thing for everybody to do no matter what.
If you've got, like I said, unpaid medical bills, find out stuff you want to donate, either cash or non-cash, because either way, it's going to be to your benefit, even if they don't pass a tax bill, which is entirely possible. I mean, Washington is basically dysfunctional. So
now, everybody that is listening, please don't think that you just have to have troubles to work with Ted. He's been doing this since 1978, and he does help people with their issues. It's only $175 to give you peace of mind, but you also can just work with him. Anybody can. He's the sharpest pencil I know. I'm going to go. Everyone can call in here and get all the free things that we've been offering. 602-277-5369.